everybody? This is Kyle from the TF Review, here with the final video of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Bruticus set. Now in this video we're going to take a look at the packaging. I'm going to show you how to combine the weapon and all of his modes, and we're just going to take a look at the big man himself. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy this awesome, amazing, wonderful review. Now, I'm going to have to take this handheld because, as you can see, this box is absolutely massive. And for size comparison, here it is next to Soundwave. I'm just going to lean Soundwave up like that. So you can see this guy is just ginormous. Now, on it is a really nice picture of Bruticus. You see Bruticus right there just stomping on Jazz. Back here you have Ironhide fighting, who is that, Shockwave? And here you've got Megatron. Up here you've got some aerial bots duking it out. Bruticus is just smashing some, who is that? I don't know who that is. Looks kind of like Vehicon, but it's not Vehicon, obviously. And yeah, this artwork is just really, really fantastic. Right there you've got the San Diego Comic-Con logo. On the tops, you've got this great-looking grid design, which kind of looks like Shockwave's chest. That was pointed out in a couple other video reviews. On the side, Transformers Generations. Amazingly epic-looking logo. On the other side, Fall of Cybertron. Bruticus. Now we're going to take a look at the back real quick. And it's just got this massive Decepticon logo. And that just, it looks so awesome. Down here you've got some safety requirements, some made in China, which is okay. But let's open up this packaging and let's take a look at how Bruticus itself is packaged. Now, when you open the packaging up, you just take this open, and there you can see you've got a whole lot of new information. Onslaught, Swindle, Blastoff, Vortex, and Swerve. Right here you've got kind of a lengthy bio. You can read that. Feel free to pause it. Hopefully I have it all in the shot. There you go. And right here you have a really nice artwork of Bruticus himself. I kind of wish that he was more bulky like this, because here he's like a stick. And here he looks really bulky, and I kind of like that look a little bit more. But, you know, with safety regulations and whatnot, I guess it's understandable. Now on this side, we've got this whole separate packaging, and this whole thing just pops right out. And as you can see, it's like its own separate packaging. So, let's get rid of this giant box, and let's just take a look at this packaging itself. So, here we have the packaging for Bruticus himself, and as you can see, this is some gorgeous packaging. And he does come with quite a few instruction manuals. Again, each of these figures will be an individual release, so this is very necessary. But let's get these out of the way for the time being, and let's just take a look at the packaging. So as you can see, it does say Fall of Cybertron at the very bottom. Decepticon. This is a level 2 transformation, so it's a basic deluxe. Let's twist them around. As you can see, very similar to the inside of the larger box. It does have a lengthy bio, which I do believe is the same. Up here, you've got a picture of Bruticus. This is actually a picture of the toy itself, not the artwork. And again, you've got all 5 of the Combaticons lined up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this packaging. It's gorgeous. I wish I didn't have to open it, but for the sake of the review, let's open it and let's see how awesome Bruticus is. Before we put together Bruticus, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little size comparison for you guys. Now, as you can see, they are roughly the same size as each other. Onslaught may be a little bit bulkier. Here is, of course, Vortex and Onslaught. Brawl and Vortex. You can see they are, you know, they're about roughly the same size, probably about the same amount of plastic. Swindle and Onslaught. Obviously, Swindle is definitely a little bit taller, but they are pretty much the same length. And yeah, so there is your size comparison for vehicle mode. Now let's take a look at how each and every one of them compares inside of their robot modes. So here we have the Combaticons in their robot mode. And as you can see, obviously some of them are better than others, which I'm sure you were able to tell through my various reviews. But as we can see, of course, the shortest one is Brawl right there. And it's sort of a tie between the tallest one for Onslaught and Swindle. They're both roughly the same height. But yeah, you can see these figures are very nice and they look very cool together, which should be no problem if you plan to display them in their robot modes. And for another size comparison, let me bring out, here is Deluxe, Christ, okay. Anyway, that's fine. We're just going to leave them down there. There is Deluxe Evac. And, I got a whole box of toys over here. Okay, here's a good one. Deluxe Evac and Voyager class Transformers Prime non-first edition bulkhead. You can see, of course, some of the larger figures are bigger than a traditional deluxe size figure, and overall they're just scaled really nicely together. So that's it for their robot modes. Now it's time for the Combaticons to assemble. Now, just before I start to assemble Bruticus, I'm going to show you very quickly how to assemble his weapon. Now, these are each of the weapons from each of the robots, and they do combine to make this sort of massive Power Rangers-esque giant gun. First, what you're going to want to do is you take Swindle's gun, and I do believe this is Brawl's weapon. You just connect them like so, and that is all you need to do for that. Then you want to take Onslaught's Mega Gun right here, and you'll notice there is a groove right there and right there. That is, of course, for this weapon. You just take it and slide it, make sure you align it properly, and there you go. And he already has an awesome looking gun. Then you want to take Vortex's weapons. He comes with two pistol-like guns. You can either put them up like that, or if you want, you can have then you want to take Blast-Off's weapons, and you put them in just these two peg holes right there. You can either have the wings facing upwards, like that, or you can have them facing sideways, like that. I personally like to have them facing upwards, because then it allows you to attach even more weapons, and it does look pretty cool. It sort of gives Bruticus a sight. Lastly, you want to take Vortex's swords. You can just put them up like that. Actually, you should put them like this. And again, do it like that, and make sure everything is aligned. There you have Decepticon Bruticus's giant gun. Now, there's more than one way you can align it. In fact, you can take these, and it's recommended that you actually put them underneath, so they're coming through like that. But I personally do not like the way that looks. Now, I personally like the other way more because this makes it look more just like a gun with giant things attached to the bottom. But again, there are numerous ways you can do this. So yeah, that's it for the gun. Now, it's time you've all been waiting for. It's time to take a look at Bruticus Maximus, aka Decepticon Bruticus. So, we are now finally ready to assemble Bruticus. To assemble Bruticus, you can start by taking his two legs. Actually, we should probably swap them around like that. And these do just stand up, you know, by themselves. So that's done. Woo! Next, you want to take his body, which is back here, and just peg it into these little peg holes. That did not work as well as I was hoping. Wait. Alright. There we have one of his legs. Now let's do the same thing to the other leg. Alright, and now Bruticus is able to fully stand. stand. Then you want to take his arms and you just plug them in, much like you plug in his legs. And do the same to this arm. Oopsies. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we have this tall, wanky looking robot. And it is Decepticon Bruticus, as he's called in the game. So, here we have Bruticus in his Bruticus mode. Now I'm going to go handheld for this, so pardon the shakiness. As you can see, Bruticus, it's a lot thinner and a lot more scrawny looking than his game model, obviously. The most noticeable parts are his arms. They're a bit sort of, you know, they're a bit elongated, and it does look kind of funky. I do think his legs look pretty damn awesome, which completely pass in my opinion, but his arms, they just need work. And there are certain ways you can arrange Bruticus so that it'll look more in proportion with the game model. But overall, when you buy Bruticus, this is what you're going to get. And yeah, in terms of detail, he has a lot of detail. As you can see down here, we have his arms folded up kind of in a funky way. Again, the purple motif continued throughout Bruticus. Again, his legs look very nice. His arms, of course, just very bizarre looking. And yeah, let's turn him around. As we can see, he's got like literally nothing on his back, no backpack. He's very thin, which in the case of Bruticus doesn't hurt. Because I think if Bruticus had a big, massive backpack, he wouldn't even be able to stand in the first place. So he's very light. He's actually, very, very light. He's very easy to pick up, but he is, very shaky. So you do have to be careful. Now, Bruticus does come with his gigantic weapon, which we built earlier in this video. Now, this can peg into either arm. I personally like to peg it into this arm. And as we can see, it is pretty much too long for him to hold, which is a little bit weird. But if you can pose him like that, and if you want to, you can get Bruticus to dual wield his giant gun. Now that does look pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. The gun does get kind of bent, but still, he looks really badass. Now, for a size comparison, we're gonna whip out Bulkhead yet again. And I wish I had my Amazon Unicron out here, but he's slightly smaller than Amazon Unicron. He's actually a little bit taller than an MMPR, one of the newer Megazords, but that doesn't help much, so let's find something else. And here is, of course, one of the classics, older classics, Optimus Prime. And, of course, Bruticus Maximus towers over both of them. And yeah, it's time for articulation! For articulation, Bruticus's head does move left and right. Also, his arms move in and out. They don't rotate 360 degrees, but they do kind of move back. You can bend them at the elbow. No wrist articulation, but you can kind of move it in a way. Upper bicep swivel. Again, on this arm, can move it up and down, but it doesn't lock. Another kind of an elbow swivel, actually. And you can move this arm in and out. And then you do have the same arm articulation. Now, for his legs, you can move his legs in and out. You can't really move him forward and back, but I don't see why you would be able to, because he wouldn't be able to pose. He does bend at the knee. No feet articulation on that leg. He does bend at the knee on this leg, but also no. And this foot does actually have a foot swivel, which is pretty nice. I wish the other foot would have had one, because it would have really helped the articulation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for Decepticon Bruticus. Now it's time for my final thoughts. And guys, brace yourselves, this may be a long one. overall, I feel that the price I paid at San Diego Comic-Con, which was $99, actually, 99 plus tax, so it was closer to $107. Well, for me, it was worth it. Because the whole point of getting this 5-pack for me was to avoid many things. First of all, the money I saved on gas alone, getting all 5 figures at once, that it would cost to have to go out and actually hunt these figures, because without a doubt, one of these guys is going to be hard to find, and it's going to create a nightmare for those actually looking for this toy at retail, because each of these figures is being sold individually, which is just a horrible idea in my perspective. And for me, if this wasn't a 5-pack, I wouldn't have considered buying it. In fact, I probably wouldn't have considered buying Bruticus in general. However, there were a number of factors that did make me want to buy it. The fact that A, it was the only way to get game-accurate colors, and B, again, you could buy all 5 at once, and to me, that was, again, worth it. Now, for the toy itself, I mean, it does have its problem. If you're actually expecting something on the level of Hercules, you are going to be very disappointed. Hasbro has a very, very long way to go before we'll be able to see anything near that quality. Not to mention, there are the regulations and the safety issues that Hasbro has to deal with that most other third-party companies do not. The toy itself is a nice one. It's really nicely detailed, and it looks awesome on any shelf. Trust me. The arms do look funky, and, you know, that's easy to look past. But the legs and the body and the head sculpt and everything else is solid. If you're able to find all 5 figures at retail without having to hunt, without having to drive from store to store to store to store, then it's worth picking up all 5. But if you're out there and it becomes a situation where you have to actually buy from someone else at 2 times the price, 3 times the price per figure for any one of these figures, then to me it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, that's Bruticus. And thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching all 6 of my videos. And I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of the summer. And now it's time for me to start reviewing the other Fall of Cybertron figures. Shockwave, Jazz, maybe Optimus Prime. I don't know. I've heard it's pretty crappy. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at the TF Review. Later.